Robert Plank Show, episode 235. Make Facebook your ATM. Profit from social media ads and marketing with Sally Hendrick.
Okay.
Hey everyone, and welcome back to the program. This is the Robert Plank Show, and we're here with Sally Hendrick, and she's the founder of Social Media Traffic School, which is an online marketing academy specializing in target market research, sales funnels, digital courses, and Facebook advertising strategies. So Sally, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
So can you tell us about, a lot of people say they do, social media stuff or traffic stuff, but can you tell us about what it is that you do and what makes you stand out?
Basically, I help people stop posting randomly on social media without a real strategy, without the proper plumbing in place on their websites, on their Facebook advertising accounts, sometimes Google Analytics as well, and show them that they actually have a path that they should be following, steps they should be taking if they really truly want to use social media as a marketing tool.
Awesome, and I like that approach to it, because what sort of frustrates me with a lot of these like social media type of people who teach it, they just say, oh, well, just post some good stuff and everyone will love you, or just, be yourself. And I'm thinking, well, that doesn't really help me as far as like how you broke it down, like the Google Analytics and the ads and the posting. And so I'm sort of curious, when you help these people or you have these clients first come to you, what sort of starting place are most people in? Like, do they not have a Facebook presence or a fan page, or is it a huge mess? Like, what's sort of the starting point that you're seeing when these clients first come to you?
I have an array of clients in that some will be confused about what they even want to brand themselves as. And so usually I send them to read a couple of books or to do a challenge or two here and there that I recommend. Like, I really like Pat Flynn's book, Will It Fly?
I've read that.
And it helps them to focus on what they truly want to be doing, because they'll come to me and they'll say, well, I think I want to sell this online, or I think I want to create a business that does this. And I'm like, well, is that really what you want to do? And after a little bit of the conversation, we get to the truth. We have to peel away some layers. And then I find out, well, if that's your real dream, then why aren't you putting that out there first? And they're like, well, that's just so far away and it's so unattainable. And I'm like, well, no, not really. Actually, let's just break this down. And so we kind of move into that direction. Now, the other type of client that I have will have a website. They will have done advertising already. They will be trying to put their sales funnels together, and they'll be hooking things up and in the background and trying to really to get it all together. But basically they've got 10, 20, 50 pieces of the puzzle. They just don't know how to actually put the puzzle together. And so then I say, well, this is why you're doing this, and then you link into this, and this is why you do it this way. And then they're like, oh, now I get it.
Okay, so two types of people. One of the type, like, just doesn't know what they have, or maybe they have a list of too many things and the thing they should be focusing on is way too far down the road. And the other sort of people, they've made some progress, but just progress in sort of little patches of areas here and there, and no kind of unified vision. And so, with that first group you mentioned, where they don't really know what they want, why do you think that is? Do you think that too many people are trying to go it alone, or maybe are there just like too many ideas, or are they reading too much, or like why do you think so many people are confused about this kind of stuff?
I think they have an itch to be an entrepreneur for some reason, and they see a need to help people through certain struggles, but they have no idea. There's almost like this whole underground world hanging out in Facebook groups. When you first get into them, you're like, what is this? Oh my goodness, these people are so much like me. Or, oh, what is this over here? And you end up meeting people online and you see the things they're doing. And if you weren't looking around for that, you wouldn't even know it existed. But when you get into it, it's like, wow, these are people who are doing things that I really want to be able to do. And it shows you the possibilities of what you really can do with your business with social media marketing.
So it's like that the whole thing with all those possibilities is like a double-edged sword because it's like, well, I can't, maybe I don't even know what's possible out there. I join a group, maybe I'll read some stuff, I'll ask some questions, and now I've got 100 new ideas, and now I try to do them all, I guess, right?
Well, you might be able, you might be that type of entrepreneur where you're multi-passionate and you want to help everybody do everything. But then when you hire a business coach or start to get familiar with what people are doing and really watch people and the way that they're marketing online, you understand eventually that they're really focusing on one major thing at a time. It's the result that they're trying to put out there, and then they have their pathway to get to that result. And what you really have to do is pull back and say, what result am I after? This is not about the 10 ways to get there. This is about the result. That's the part I've got to sell, put together, solve for someone. The way I do it is the way I do it, and that's what becomes my business. So you really do have to research and focus in on that one result that you want to help people that are struggling with it.
I like that. That's a pretty good message. And so, sort of to get a good idea of what people are doing and to figure out what sort of result they want. Are you comfortable with like telling us about maybe one of your clients or one of the Facebook pages we can check out to kind of get an idea of what kind of things they're doing on their page?
On their Facebook page, their business page versus
Yeah.
the website or something else? Sure. If you go to, let me pull one up because you're throwing me a curveball, making me think, oh, who do I need to talk about? Actually, I like to point out Luann Lee. Luann Lee, her page is Your College Planning Coach.
Okay.
And let me see if I can find the exact spot, because I don't want to give you the wrong one. Yeah, if you just type Your College Planning Coach, I'm pretty sure it's the @ Your College Planning Coach. You'll find her. She's a redhead.
Cool. I am there. And so she has, I guess she has some kind of ebook of there's a reason why so many people choose Luann Lee to plan for college. And so,
Yeah.
I mean, so what sort of things did Luann, was she, for some reason none of the content's loading, but so what did she have in place when she came to you, and then what did you say, all right, well, here's what you need to focus, here's what you need to do?
Whenever she first came to me, she had a lot of the pieces in place, and she's still working through all of this. It takes time, but everything that she had to put out there for people was like a file folder online. I feel like, and I want to focus more on her website. On her website, she has every piece of content she's ever put out there. And I'm like, well, that's great that you've got content, but if all you're doing is putting it out there and not marketing it appropriately, it's like a big file folder. And that's what a lot of people are doing, is they're treating their websites as if they just house all their content and people are just going to show up and look at it. But it's not going to happen that way. If you don't have it optimized for SEO, if you don't have your images looking good, if you don't have content that has a call to action on it, has a way for people to want more from you, then it's just a big glorified file folder. So what I've been teaching her is, let's create some sales funnels. Let's create a way to entice people to come in and look at what you're doing. Her client, she's got a couple of clients, because she not only markets to the parents, the kids have to be involved as well. This is for college planning, and if she's always marketing to the parents, the results may not come through as something that the kids are going to do and accomplish with her to make sure that they're picking the right college, that they're getting the most money, that they're writing the essays they need to, they're doing the work they need to prepare for this. She likes to start way before they even get to high school because she has a financial planning background as well, and so she mixes that together. And there are so many things, so many nuggets of information that she could be dropping out there that would actually get people to click and come through and look at her. And if she doesn't create that funnel to get to her page, how in the world is she going to actually show people, besides showing up at live events at high schools and other, places like that? How else is she going to find clients? And this opens up her world so much more.
Awesome, and there's a lot of good things there, and just what strikes me as you're sort of explaining, you helping her out with her strategy. It sounds like a lot of people sort of have this problem of they just keep cranking out content, or they just kind of keep going down this path of, someone told me I should write a blog post, someone told me I should make websites with, like you said, like no real call to action, no good SEO, no images to make sure that you get that traffic, and I like how you helped her kind of think through this whole thing of like, okay, well, we're targeting like the niche is planning for college, so maybe before or maybe early on she was targeting just the parents, but target the kids, target them years before. That way there's the let me teach you how to also pay for college aspect. And so I really like that, because it's like if she was targeting just people who were just about to start senior year of high school, it's like it's almost too late, right? Because maybe they've already applied, or maybe whatever money is saved up or not is already there. So I mean, just as you're explaining that, that's sort of what's running through my head, that it sounds like a lot of people are just sort of going through the motions, or saying, okay, well, I heard I need these pieces, and what you're saying, it sounds like, is, well, in these different situations you might only need some of the pieces, and those pieces might be more important than others, especially like if you're missing a call to action or something.
Exactly. And I mean, just to give you an idea of a call to action, it doesn't just mean like, here's my phone number, give me a call. Why not create a writing workshop to get through some of those essays?
Right.
Why not create a financial planning workshop to talk through what college really costs? And you could market that to different levels of people, either to the parents or to the high school kids or whatever, wherever they are. That's how she needs to do it. And then it's not just about marketing the material to those people. It's also about creating a target market in the background of like Facebook or Google or whatever that will capture the proper cross-section of the people she's looking for.
And so how do you as a social media coach do that? Is that just a matter of checking out like the different like interests and fan pages, or do you run some ads tests, or like sort of what's your thought process if that problem you just described, where it's like who to target, how do you go about cracking that nut, so to speak?
I have an entire research program that does that. I have a research and development team. It's a Facebook ads advanced concepts type mastermind. We call it Mad Science, with quotes around the A and D and mad. And we basically go through and learn how to use online research tools, and then start creating audiences and building them based on the content that we're putting out. And then we split test those with different types of pictures and so on and so forth. And as we change the pictures out, we also change out like that third surprise element, interest group. We change that out as well, because if you're doing an ad, for example, to parents of high school age children who like certain universities, that's one thing. But you might need to toss in there that they also like certain recreational activities, and maybe you display that recreational activity on your graphic. And, you marry it up a little bit differently than just one. A lot of people have a one-track mind, and they really go towards what it is they're solving for somebody, when they need to be able to attract them with this third element that nobody's thinking about.
So is that element's that attention getting factor, or
Yes.
like, okay, so
Yeah.
show them something fun, show them something that they relate to, and it's not quite yet time for them to click, or not quite yet time for them to opt in or buy or whatever, but like yeah, I totally get that. That like a lot of people just say, "Here, buy my stuff," and it's like, well, it's Facebook. We have to grab their attention first because their attention's
Mhm.
already pretty well split.
Well, I mean, you send them right to your blog and you have this thing that they've clicked on. They've gotten over to your page. Obviously, they're getting tracked and put into a custom audience somewhere on Facebook. And so you're giving them information you know that they want. They just clicked on it because they like to snow ski and there was a picture of somebody snow skiing and the title somehow captured their attention. But when they got to your page, it was about recreational activities for families while you're visiting on, school breaks or something from college. I don't know, something like that. And then you go into and you see all the things in the sidebar that are like, save money on college, learn how to write your essays, blah, 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 blah. You just keep going with it. And then all of a sudden they're like, oh, this is a pretty cool site. I really need to bookmark this.
Cool, and I like that because it's like, so you said that you need to have that fun sort of image, the recreational thing to get their attention, and then I like how also once they click, it's not just a sudden shift to something else. You're sort of bridging that gap from that blog post to, okay, now they're on the site. Now here's some other cool stuff.
Exactly.
And
And
then
you've already targeted them in the background, so you know that they fit your ideal client. You just have to be able to get them to click on your page.
I gotcha. And then, like with all the Facebook ads and the targeting, like I mean, there's so many weird ways to sort of dive in there. And so, is it possible, like you said, like is it possible to really target people who are parents of high school kids? Does it get that specific in the targeting?
Yes.
Awesome. Because I mean, you know how it is. Like they change it so much, and some of that Facebook stuff, like I've seen like the ones where like you can target people who've like been on a vacation in the past 6 months, or like income
Yes.
levels, like all kinds of crazy stuff. So I mean, have you done have you done anything like super weird or crazy, sort of along those lines with the Facebook advertising? You just like targeted something like super specific or super clever in one of your adventures there?
Yes. Absolutely. I was doing an ad, several months ago. I think it was about MailChimp and Convertkit.
Okay.
And MailChimp, if somebody likes that page or has purchased MailChimp or whatever, for some reason they're going to be in that audience that Facebook has. And then the same thing, now ConvertKit's pretty new, and their Facebook page actually does not come up as being something you can target. They have a really good affiliate program, ConvertKit does. And I really like the way that their software allows you to tag people for email marketing versus putting them in lists, because the difference is that you pay more if somebody's on 2 or 3 lists within your MailChimp list. You're going to pay for them twice or 3 times. Whereas on ConvertKit, you just tag them, they're only in there once, okay?
Okay.
And so I was really pushing towards getting people to convert to ConvertKit. And I know that they have this fear of having to get through the tech hurdles. And so I thought, how about I make it easy for them and I tell them that I'm going to do a free training series on ConvertKit with other people, and they can work through the problems together. And this was when ConvertKit was pretty new. And I had switched over, and I had the same exact fear because I needed to hurry up and get my funnels moved over, right?
Right.
Well, I had to push through my own fear of getting it done quickly, and so I created this campaign. Well, when I went out there and I targeted people, I chose people who use MailChimp and Aweber and some of these other ones that are similar, and I put those in the copy, and then I crossed up with some other interests. I can't remember what the other interests were, but I made the picture work for that. And then I talked more about their fear of having to switch technology.
Ooh,
and making
awesome.
it easy and showing them the steps. And I had 175 people show up.
Dang. So,
Yeah.
so just to make sure I'm sort of understanding you correctly, so basically there, you and I haven't used ConvertKit, but so you made the move from MailChimp to ConvertKit for a number of reasons, just because Mailchimp had some flaws in it that you didn't like. So you almost kind of did ConvertKit's marketing for them in a way, and you said like, okay, let me target the competitors and let me focus on sort of those emotional reasons why I moved to ConvertKit, and then you did the ad and had the picture and all that, and then had this workshop about ConvertKit and why it's so awesome. Is that about right?
Yes, and I gave them the steps of how to move things over. And of course, a lot of people signed up to get ConvertKit and used my affiliate link, and I'm still making money on them today.
Awesome. And then when you say like a workshop, I mean, what are we talking? Like, was it like a 1 hour webinar or a 1 hour video, or like what were these people clicking to and getting from this ad?
They got to attend a couple of different webinars, basically, where there was a chat box and a video. And then I sent them the recording and, with a couple of documents.
Cool. So live webinars, and then the replays and the documents, and then nothing to buy other than here's my big giant affiliate link to ConvertKit.
Yep, that's it.
Awesome. And I've known a couple people who've done things like that. Like they said, like, do you need a website? Do you need an autoresponder? And then it's just like, well, here I'm going to show you this free stuff. You don't have to buy anything from me. Just here's my link to buy it in order to actually use the training that I'm explaining. So it's pretty cool, pretty clever way, I think, of making money there, where it doesn't always have to be, here's my book, buy my book, or buy my course or something. So I like that.
Yeah, well, and not everybody bought on that link. I didn't require them to. Some people actually already had it, and that was okay. I wanted them to come to the training because I wanted them to see how I teach and how I can show them that it's not as hard as you think it is. I was launching my academy 3 months later. It was a perfect way for me to build my list and to show my authority in the topics all at one time.
Cool. And sort of along those lines, I want to make sure that that I know and that everyone listening knows who Sally is and what you're all about, and all the things you do, like the academy and all that stuff. So can you sort of tell us about the different like websites you have and the different products and services you have for sale?
Absolutely. I've got a program that's coming out. It actually begins on Monday. I'm wrapping up getting everybody enrolled right now. It says that it's closed, but the people that I've been talking to, I'm still wrapping up, a final few details. That's the Social Media Profit Lab. The website for that is socialmediamarketinglab.com.
Cool.
That's a current thing. The other thing I have a freebie that tells you the top 10 mistakes that businesses make with Facebook ads. And that's at makefbeyouratm.com. Makefbeyouratm, like Facebook. I couldn't use Facebook in the URL. Do not make that mistake, by the way, because Facebook will contact you from their legal department and tell you you cannot have Facebook in your URL.
Ooh, scary stuff, but that's a good tip there.
Yeah, I got that email.
But I mean, write a passage, right? That way you can say it's not a myth, it's not a fake thing. Like, they will actually come after you.
I've got the email.
Cool. So
Yes.
so when people go to Social Media Marketing Lab and make FB your ATM, I mean, what are they going to see there, and what do you want them to do once they land on that page?
When they get to makefbeyouratm.com, they're immediately going to see a video that walks through the top 10 mistakes that people make. It explains everything, like from your Facebook pixel to creating custom audiences to remarketing to having your sales funnels in place, all of those things. It's free material right there on the screen, and then that leads you into a challenge to help you find your clients on Facebook using the research tools.
Awesome. And so just from seeing your website and some of your blog posts as we were talking, just from seeing the makefbeyouratm.com page here, it seems like your approach to social media is that there's all these different pieces, all this crazy stuff, but it seems like you're making it really simple. Just, I mean, pretty cut and dry. Like, do you have this? If not, you need to have this. So I really appreciate you making it simple and not piling on like the jargon and things like that, like some of these people do. So it's really, at least from what I'm seeing, it's really down to earth, and I like that a lot.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. And so cool, lots of cool stuff, lots of lots of sort of like big picture stuff and also little takeaways about what everyone should be doing in their social media marketing. And I really like that, we got in your head a little bit there, Sally, about your thought process when someone kind of comes to you with what they've already set up or what they're thinking, and you kind of think about, okay, like what audience are we reaching? What audiences can we reach? What sort of things do we need to have in place, like a landing page or a video or retargeting? So lots of stuff, but if it's made simple, it can be a lot of fun. And so everyone should go right now to socialmediamarketinglab.com, and most importantly, makeyourATM.com. So thanks so much, Sally, for being on the program.
Thank you very much.
Hey there, it's Robert Plank, and I hope you have a wonderful day. I also hope that you enjoyed our interview with Sally today, so go to robertplank.com/235 to get all the show notes and text and links and all that good stuff relating to our discussion today with Sally.